Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Educational Gamer and we are playing Command Modern Naval and Air Operations, playing as the UK-Indian coalition here in a strike against Pakistan being supported by Chinese assets. So we can see two groups of ships here. We do have one of our flights of the F-35 Lightning, or F-35B Lightning II, behind enemy lines really. Thinking about whether we'd want to attack the marine craft over here. There are a couple of enemy F-16s around, two groups of enemy ships, one of which we'll want to attack, with our group of 8 MiG-29K Fulcrums over here that have loaded up a total of 16 AS-17 Kryptons, which are there to target only enemy radars actually. So they do have a passive radar seeker, and I'm not sure that that is a good approach, but we'll see whether that will be any good. Moreover, we do have two contacts over here that are flying towards towards us, and I'm slightly worried about them because, as you can see over here, the enemy do have some surface sensors that might be very critical against our shipping, so that is something that we do not want to allow them to take on. This one is confirmed enemy in basically a turboprop aircraft. Very small. We shot one of these guys down already. This one, I'm not too sure about what exactly that is. At 70 knots, 16,000 miles, but without any active emissions, this might be a civilian craft. It's very slow. It might be a helicopter, maybe a drone, I don't know. Right, so we do have these other group of MiG-29s with an anti-air layout over here trying to investigate and of course shoot this guy down. Right, that being said, let's go ahead, let's restart our mission here and let's see what is going to happen. So first off, maybe I'll flight up here. So I'm thinking whether it might make sense to split these guys up and have one of them try to fly over here just to take on this guy. You know what, I think that's what we're going to do. So we're going to switch down to unit view. This is a flight off to aircraft, which we'll probably only see once we get down very deep to over here. There we go. I am going to tell this unit to detach from group, and I'm going to order it towards over here. And that's fine. You're going to be at cruise speed. Yeah, and you're going to do that. So that's alright. And this guy can actually be close towards over here, and I'm going to tell you to go on loiter speed. We don't have that much fuel left, but I think it might make sense just to stick around over here. We have been told that there's a potential high value target coming in towards these barracks, towards this naval base down here, which we should probably get back to group view. So there might be a high value target coming towards this airport or visiting this naval base. I think the Pakistani head of so identified as on Shamsi Airport. So where's that? Pashni Airport, Gwadar, Turbad, Krumra, Shamsi Airport. Okay, so we do know that there is a fighter on this airport. So at some point we might want to attack that. The trouble a little bit is that our our Queen Elizabeth aircraft carrier over here only has 4 F-35s in a ground attack layout, and we are not really able to build too much around that. We could of course repurpose some of our F-35s, but I do like them in the air-to-air role. And on the other hand, the MiG-29s could potentially attack, but it is somewhat difficult to attack these points because, as you can see, there are quite a lot of anti-air guns around. I think we can accelerate time somewhat. I don't think it's going to be a particular fight in the sort of middle area over here, because that certainly is not a very big threat. There is no boogie, so what's this? So a new aircraft that has been coming from here. So that is a Chinese craft. A J8. It's a very, very big aircraft. I would love to shoot this guy down. So we know that from over here, they seem to be from some Mungali, Quatan International Airport. We've seen a couple of aircraft coming over here, and they are probably the patrol aircraft, and you can see at the radar range of this guy that he's really a significant threat to us. This one, likewise, it must have very long-range surface search radar, so that is very much capable of identifying our carriers. And our carriers are uniquely vulnerable because I'm not sure whether the enemy has that, but there are some types of missiles in the Chinese inventory that can hurt very much, or destroy actually, carrier fleets, and these are tactical missiles. There we go, that was the sound of a missile launching just as this guy enters the engagement range. I'm not too fond of our guys doing that, because that feels a little bit rushed, and you know what, you can actually go to cruise speed, save a little bit on fuel. What flight altitude are you on? 60,000 feet. We're gonna go there a little bit later. So yeah, but this guy should not be able to outrun this missile coming for him, so that's fantastic to see. Losing altitude already, it's very, very fast, and this guy will very, very likely go down very soon. This one over here, I'm really interested to see how exactly that will work out for them. Right, what do we know about these aircraft up here? Very little actually, but hopefully our guy over here will be able to come towards them and try to engage them, maybe. Right, this missile really shouldn't be a problem. And you know what, you can come up over here. And we're going to change our map settings over here so that we can display surface weapons, just so I know where the strike radius of these guys is. Even though it's a little bit less clean, of course, I hope that should make sense for us. Really interested to see what that is. But we need to probably get within very low range just to see them, I would guess, with our MiG-29s over here. These guys, everything still is fine. I'm still extremely worried about any submarine creeping up on us, especially combined with the prospect of them potentially having some tactical weapon systems, because that would mean that we are very vulnerable against that. You might actually want to go on an intercept course like that. Right, let's accelerate time somewhat, not too much, but because I do want to see whether that missile will hit. I think they're trying to do evasive maneuvering, but it's a turboprop aircraft and this is a guided missile, so that looks unlikely. There we go. Enemy shot down as we expected. Now this guy would be in our engagement range, and I do believe that he's very likely to be an enemy craft. But I do want to close in on it, because it doesn't necessarily... I don't think he will be capable of fighting back. It just doesn't feel like this is any sort of fighter aircraft. And at any rate, I want to know what's going on over here. Oh, there's one difficulty, and that is our submarine over here. Our submarine over here has some anti-air weapons, so anti-ground weapons. So I don't see the distance if I switch this off. But oh well, that should be fine. Let's accelerate time. There we go. Let's go back to real time. You are getting very close to being able to engage these guys. Are you still emitting? So I should look at this is what I should look at. Yeah, you are using certain radar installations. We do have 16 missiles, we do have 3 targets, and some of these targets are very likely to be able to dodge quite a lot of Harpoon equivalent missiles. Our missiles though are a little bit better than Harpoons, specifically they are a lot quicker, so I do hope that we'll be able to conduct a little bit more against them than just that. By the way, what's actually our explosive load in these anti-surface weapons? 100 kilo. Well, 90 kilo. 90 DP, that's not a lot. But it might start fires and such, so I'm not overly worried about that. You're 40 nautical miles away. You're a little bit higher than they are, so we need to dive down. But I think we can do that over here actually. So let's tell you to go to 16,000 over there. Good. Should do that now. You should do that sort of when you come towards this waypoint. How close are we to be able to launch missiles? Could launch them now. I think I'm going to give them a little bit more time. Simply because I don't think that these guys have a very long anti-air engagement radius. Yeah, that seems to be fine. So we don't need to rush this. Could actually save on maybe one of the missiles. Just try to take out a little bit of the anti-air guidance. But since I'm not planning immediately to attack any of these airfields, I don't think that's a good idea. Ooh, so it is a UAV, it is a drone, unmanned aerial device. How do we know that? There's a sensor on these guys that somehow told it to us. Okay, you know what? Go down to 16,000. That will mean that they'll be burning a lot less fuel. But we'll have to see about that. Also, I think you can go to loiter speed. There we go. You should now be able to see him nearly 6 miles. It's probably a very small part. Whoop. Let's pause over here and see what's going on. We do see a missile being launched over here. You are over here. There's the J-17. You should actually be coming a little bit more like over here. And you know what? I'm going to tell you to be on loiter speed. That will draw down our distance to bingo fuel, because it's not quite as fuel efficient, but it's going to give us a little bit more time, and since these guys are traveling towards us, I think that's going to be fine. Over here though, it does seem to me like the F-16s have launched a missile against our F-35. Seems very, very likely to me. So let's look at our what can we do over here. You are on loiter speed. I think it might make sense to get you a little bit quicker down. There is a little bit of elevation over here, so we might make a dash for it. Try to be very, very low. But I'm worried that this will just put them on bingo fuel. Could try to take out the F-16s, but I'm not too keen on that either. Although they are more than 60 miles away, so and I think the AM I-120 only has a range of 60 miles. Although they might just be... Okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to fly straight away. We're going to go on cruise speed. And we're going to hope that that will put up enough distance between us and this missile over here. Just to make sure that hopefully we are out of range. Yeah, there's another missile coming for us. So these guys must be launching as crazy. And I think they launched at their maximum distance. So that does mean that our flight over here has... Wait. So more things are happening. So we've identified this guy. What is it? It's a Chinese Navy drone from 2009. Fixed unmanned, small area craft, so it's very hard to see. And it has mainly visual surveillance TV cameras and infrared. Range of 30 to 40 nautical miles, ground search. Interesting, enormous range. So these are really the things that we need to be careful about. That this thing can spot us quite a long distance away. Oh, well, not a long distance away, but they are very hard to spot. So we are launching missile at that guy, so that's fine. Not sure we need to launch our best missiles. Yeah, but we are launching two very different ones. One radar guided, and this one over here, and an infrared missile over here. So one of them I'm sure is going to hit, certainly at that distance. There we go, that's fine. That means we can put our flight over here back on a sort of more normal trajectory. And what we actually might want to do is fly up over here. Get these guys to be on just normal sort of high altitude cruise speed. Right. The reason I'm going to do that is because I do think that these guys have launched a lot of missiles, quite a bit of the armory probably, so it might just make sense to try and get these guys. In the meantime, a lot of things are happening at once. I think it's time for our missiles over here to be launched against these ships. So let's see what we can do with our flight over here. By the way, notice how these guys all have different fuel depending on who started, who launched first and who sort of started a little bit later. Right, so we have a Perry class, we have two Type 1 Amazon classes. The Amazon classes are a lot less capable of defending. All of these guys have pretty good sensor suit. They have about 4 harpoons. The harpoons I'm not too worried about. We also have this guy, the Perry class. I think that is a much more formidable weapon. It has actually a similar amount of harpoons. And it doesn't actually look like your sensor suit is that much better. It's more 1980s technology. So am I maybe wrong about that? The phalanx is so. I think the reason why we are worried about this guy is because of this thing. A radar, air search, long range radar. This guy, on the other hand, yeah, you have 100 nautical miles. That's quite bad either. What's your tonnage basically? Damage points 520. That's one way to look at it. Damage points 630. 170 crew. 4,000 tons. And you guys have... yeah, you're smaller. Okay, so let's assign weapons then. Right, we have 16. So I think allocating 6 towards the Perry class is certainly a good idea. Then we have 4 towards the next Perry class. Sorry, to the Amazon. Let's do another 4 to the Amazon, and that does leave us with 2. And you know what? We do have guided missiles, so they should be seeking any active radar in installation. So let's just fire off everything sort of in that direction and hope for the best. There we go. First salvo launched. I think very likely we are going to soon see all of the rest being launched. Yeah, there we go. That's fine. You guys are now returning to base. What do I think about your fuel situation though? You have quite a lot of fuel left. And at this point we can switch off the surface weapons. And you do have quite a lot of anti-air weapons left. So you know what I'm going to do? So I'm going to ask you to come up over here actually. In the same spirit that we might want to take the F-16s over there. I'm going to try to draw the F-35 a little bit off the ball side in the hope that these missiles will not be able to, but they are following suit, so that does mean that our guy is being spotted. Somehow they can spot our flight. And that tells me a lot about our radar situation. So you know what? We're gonna go to minimum altitude. Do terrain following. Just dive down very low, hope that these guys will lose track of you, and that might be a good indication for us. Look at how high these guys are traveling to, 80,000 miles. So, over here, a bunch of weapons being directed at these targets. 16 missiles in flight, 2 missiles in flight over here. How is it looking for our lone ride over here? You have 1 minute 30 seconds till bingo fuel. And I'm a little worried because bingo fuel will mean you'll beeline back towards base. And that will bring you over this naval group. But not much we can do about it. I would have liked to attack this guy, but he's way too far away. We could of course try to skim a little bit and run on the last fumes. Try to run away. You know what? Go to military speed. How high are you actually? 850 feet. Come on, you gotta outrun them. God, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. How high? You're still very high. And you're not that far away. 8 miles. No, no! Ah! So the first one has run out of juice. Come on, the second one needs to run out of... Yeah, there we go. Good, very, very good. Okay, so this guy has run out of fuel, unfortunately. So he will be trying to run away sort of in that direction. That's fine. And yeah, more missiles. Also, they haven't really lost contact with us at all. And they might even be closer than we were before. So that is definitively a bad environment for us. But I do think that these guys will find their targets first. Yeah, so another missile being launched. That's sort of expected. They always launch in groups of 2. Over here though we can see our missiles, our horde of missiles just streaming in towards these ships. And let's hope to disable them, at least operationally. Hopefully. I don't know. What was that? I just heard a missile being launched. It's probably from our guy up here. Yes, it is. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to launch another missile at... Oh, okay, so you have fired one. I'm gonna ask you to launch another one because I think that you'll run out of fuel very soon. Come on, can you do it? Yeah, he's gonna run out of fuel very soon, so I just want to make sure that he has dropped most of his missiles. Also, just dropping a couple of your missiles means you have less weight to carry, so you'll travel a little bit further and less drag. Here we go. Let's watch that. Let's see what was happening over here. So, their weapon system tried to attack our missile and it missed. Tried that another time, did miss because the final hit probability was way too low. Mainly because of the unadjusted, it was 59%, but it was just way too quick, so it just sped through that and hit them. It did, however, malfunction, so it was not very successful. Then they had a missile that also, a phalanx system, so a gun system that also missed. But 2 of our weapons then missed on their turn. However, a couple of things seem to have hit over here, I think, or maybe at least closely hit. More guns being shot at our missiles. There's our first hit. So I think over here we did just hit one of these guys. But we've also seen a SAM signature, so surface to air missile signature. And where was that? New contact SAM. Where is that actually? Detected by Vikramate Air Wing, so that's who? Fulcrum D. So probably somewhere over here. Anyway, let's keep on watching these guys and see whether our missiles will do much damage. Okay, so probably that SAM was just the surface-to-air missile itself. Right. Krypton's being attacked. I think we might have launched that guy. Yeah, there we go. Lots of hits now. Okay, so I think we just outright sank 2 ships. 100% penetration. Yeah. That's very, very good results. 2 ships apparently sunk. And I think you, sir, might have just lost a couple of your radar speeds. Interesting. Very good. Let's see whether your speed will drop down over the... No, I think it's increasing actually. 20 knots. Good. Very nice. Very nice. You are fine. You don't have any weapons left to attack surface ships, but again, I want to take my revenge on these F-16s, depending or not whether that flight will live. We've still 2 missiles in the air over here. That's good to see. Yeah. You know what? You actually have 3 AIM-20s. You know what? Let's gamble a little bit over here. Let's see. Could you launch missiles against these F-16s? Nope, because your weapon system is on hold. Let me put you on tight. I think tight is appropriate. Could you attack now? No, you're out of bore sight limit, so it is prudent to turn that way. Come on. Just turn a little bit. You know what? I think this dogfight over here we'll leave for next time. Very happy about this result down here. Very happy to have sunk 2 ships and maybe potentially at least damaged 1. I think it's indicative that we see 1 radar dish being active, while 2 radar dishes seem to have been disabled for at least between 20 and 16 seconds, so only the Type 1006 is still online, and that is actually not an entirely bad radar suit. But at any rate, I think this is a very nice success, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.